Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating psychology of extreme wealth. We're going to crack open the minds of some truly self-made visionaries to uncover the blueprint behind their relentless drive and figure out what actually motivates the world's most successful people. So here's the ultimate question for us today. Picture this. You've bought the super yachts, the private jets, the mega mansions. You literally have unlimited money. What on earth do you do with your life next? I mean, when survival and comfort are totally checked off the list, and you can buy literally anything, what actually gets you out of bed in the morning? Well, to figure that out, we have to look at a highly exclusive club. We're talking about an estimated 1,400 billionaires on the entire planet. That's it. These folks usually live their lives behind closed doors, wielding some pretty unimaginable power and resources. But today, we're pulling back the curtain on three very specific characters to see exactly what infinite money does to the human mind. All right, let's jump into part one, life after unlimited wealth, and the void that follows extreme success. Take a look at these three distinct paths. First up, we've got Naveen Jain, who went from information e-commerce to, get this, literally trying to mine the moon. Then there's Dmitry Itskov. He made a fortune in online media and is now actively funding a path to actual human immortality. And finally, Michael Birch. He sold his social network, Bebo, for a jaw-dropping $850 million, only to turn right around and start building massive real-world social spaces. Now, you might think hitting the absolute peak of financial success is pure bliss, right? Actually, it often triggers a profound existential crisis. It forces these people into this deep spiritual void where they suddenly have to completely redefine their life's purpose. Michael Birch even described feeling effectively unemployed the very day after he sold his company. Turns out, a giant mountain of cash doesn't automatically hand you happiness. Instead, it forces a massive reevaluation of what you're going to do with the rest of your time on Earth. Which brings us to part two, chasing the impossible and solving the world's most audacious problems. Writing another iPhone app versus, mining the moon. This contrast perfectly sums up Naveen Jain's entire philosophy. He fundamentally believes that if people don't think your idea is crazy, you're just not thinking big enough. He says when he casually mentions at parties that he mines the moon, the reaction is absolute shock. But to him, if you have the resources to change the course of human history, aiming to just write another app is thinking way too small. And Naveen isn't just daydreaming here. He's got a highly structured business plan. Through his company Moon Express, he plans to land a spacecraft right near the moon's equator, right around where the Apollo missions landed. He's working aggressively to slash the cost of a moon mission from $100 million down to under $50 million. His endgame? To literally bring pieces of the moon back to Earth, specifically $500 billion worth of precious resources, and in the process, create a brand new trillion-dollar space industry. Wild, right? Meanwhile, Dmitry is on a totally different wavelength. He's mapped out this wild 35-year timeline for human evolution with the goal of entirely conquering biological death by the year 2045. It's like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. It starts with remote-controlled robotic avatars, then moves on to actual brain transplants into machines, uploading human consciousness entirely, and finally, existing as immortal holograms. He has poured millions of his own cash into hosting global congresses with top neuroscientists just to make this a reality. But here is the really fascinating part. Dmitry's motivation is actually profoundly spiritual. He hit this massive existential crisis when he was just 25 years old. He looked around and realized that an endless, escalating life of luxury was never going to truly satisfy him. He started seeing physical death and our biological limits as constraints on exploring the universe and the internal mind. So while his 2045 project relies on cold, hard science and robotics, the real engine driving it is a deep, spiritual quest for absolute freedom. Then we have Michael Birch, who tackled his post-wealth void on a more grounded but honestly equally fascinating scale. He missed traditional English pubs so much that he just built one inside his house. And then he thought, why not scale that up? So he created a massive 58,000 square foot private club in San Francisco called The Battery, complete with 5 bars, a restaurant, and a hotel. Oh, and in this amazing twist of nostalgia and playfulness, he actually bought back his original company, Bebo, for a single $1 million. Keep in mind, that's $849 million less than what he sold it for. Why? Just for the sheer fun of trying to reinvent it. Okay, let's move into part three, the billionaire mindset and how these hyper-successful people actually tick. This quote right here from Michael Birch is basically the billionaire blueprint in a nutshell. It's a paradox, really. He points out that you need the stubbornness to keep grinding when things get incredibly tough, and you need the naivete to ignore the massive glaring risks in the first place. Think about it. If you fully understood the statistical improbability of succeeding, you'd probably never even start. You kind of have to be like the bumblebee. It only flies because it has no idea that aerodynamically it shouldn't be able to. Of course, success at this elite level also demands immense, almost punishing discipline. Just look at Naveen Jain's strict morning routine. He's up between 4:30 and 5 a.m. every single day. First, he immediately attends to his mind, catching up on global news and emails. Then, he physically trains his body. And finally, he meditates to care for his soul. Naveen treats business like an actual war. He fundamentally believes that unless your mind, body, and soul are completely prepped for battle, you simply cannot succeed at the highest levels. So here's a massive takeaway. Billionaires like Naveen do not chase money directly. I know that sounds crazy, but it's a common misconception. Instead, they hunt for monumental problems to solve. Naveen argues that if you want to make $1 billion, you just need to find a $10 billion problem, like global education or energy or healthcare, and solve it. His logic is, if you positively impact 1 billion lives, even if you only make a single dollar from each person, boom, you've created massive wealth. The entire focus is on the innovation because they know the profits will automatically follow. And this next point completely flips our normal understanding of business right on its head. We usually picture billionaires as these high-rolling gamblers making wild, reckless bets. Nope. Naveen explicitly says that extreme success is all about calculated certainty. True entrepreneurs actually hate risk. They meticulously stack the deck in their favor, and they only play the games they absolutely know they can win. It's not about gambling at all. It's about flawless strategic execution. Which leads us to our final section, Part 4, the true definition of success and measuring impact over income. I really love this perspective. For these visionaries, wealth is literally just a side effect of their passion. If you're solely focused on the end goal of getting rich, you're probably never going to get there. You have to genuinely love the daily grind and the problem solving. It reminds me of Michael Birch, who literally sat under 100-foot redwood trees on a camping trip, completely ignoring the beautiful nature around him, just so he could write computer code for the sheer immense joy of it. So despite having vastly different ambitions, whether it's mining space, defeating death, or building social empires, all three of these guys figured out that true purpose lies way beyond a bank balance. Naveen actually teaches his kids that his success won't be measured by his wealth, but by how much his children improve the world. Dimitri finds his highest value meditating in quiet hotel rooms, just exploring human consciousness. And Michael? He finds his purpose in the simple, daily act of creation. What I really want you to take away from this explainer is that for these guys, extreme wealth was never the actual destination. It was just the byproduct of a very specific, unstoppable mindset. Whether they grew up in deep poverty in rural India like Naveen, or in a pretty normal household in England like Michael, they share this relentless enthusiasm. They see life as a continuous journey of solving giant puzzles. When they achieve a massive goal, they don't just retire to a beach somewhere, they immediately turn around and ask, okay, what's the next big idea? I want to leave you with this provocative thought, inspired that the people we've looked at today. Dimitri asks who you really are once you strip away your physical body. Naveen asks how many lives you can actively improve. So, I'm throwing the question over to you. If money were absolutely no object, and you had all the resources in the world at your fingertips, what massive problem would you solve? How would you define your own purpose? Think about that for a while, and keep